Oh shoot. Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Uh-oh, hold up. Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're returning, y'all, welcome back. I'm facing the opposite side of the wall today. Really, yeah, afternoon or morning, right? It's the afternoon, but yeah, I'm facing the opposite side of the wall. So last time I talked to y'all, I think I was talking about like potentially doing a podcast setup and like just doing different stuff on the channel. So this is the wall that I'm going to end up using, but the view is going to be a lot different. And, you know, I finally got a little accent chair. So today I was like, okay, let me sit in the accent chair. But this ain't the final, the final, you know, reveal or anything like this. I'm just facing the other side of the wall, sitting in my accent chair instead of my office chair because it's Sunday and I want to relax. Okay. So thank y'all for returning back to the channel for another review. It's been a minute since we did a brunch. So let me go ahead and say hey to y'all in the comments. Hey Nola. Hey Naturally Mar. Shay K. And then KJ Necey with the thighs. And then Esther. And Meek Mills, Miss Ann. Hey y'all. April Queen. Yes, Necey D. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into Love and Marriage Huntsville season 4 or 5. I can't remember. Season 6, episode 2. So I didn't come to y'all last week talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville because my real life job was working me like a motherfucking dog. But honestly, it was just a nice little build up. So let me go ahead and share my opinion on that. I feel like it's 2 things that I need to talk to y'all about from the premiere of season 6. Number 1, how do I feel about Maurice not wanting to throw the party for Kimmy? And to be honest, y'all, I don't really feel no ways. I don't think it was that deep. I feel like they resolved it all within 1 episode, and I'm glad that they did. Because if they didn't show Maurice at the end saying, you know, I understand why we had the party now, I'm glad we had it. You know, it would have been really easy to come on here and be like, what's wrong with him? You know, why would you do that? Why would you do that to your wife? And I'm kind of just like, okay, I feel no ways. I think that Maurice was just living in fear, which is understandable. And I think that it was something to be celebrated. So I'm glad they had a party, right? The second thing that I wanted to talk to y'all about was Stormy and Mel. And we're going to talk about that this episode. And if y'all haven't caught up on the content that I actually been a part of, which is Ooh Ladies First Panel, because I ain't been able to do shit over here. If y'all haven't seen our interview with Mel that we did last week, premiering first for members only, then premiering for everybody else last Thursday, please go check out that interview. I feel like it gave a lot of context as to why things are the way they are with her and Martell. But y'all, I have to say, I still feel like there's a lot to be said with her and Stormy that we haven't gotten yet. So we're going to talk about that. And let me turn down this lighting. My lighting is like super high. Hold on. So we're going to talk about this. So I'm glad that they carried over things. There we go. I'm glad that they carried over one conversation to the next when it came to episode 1 and episode 2, and now they're doing the same thing going from episode 2 to episode 3 with Kiki and Tisha. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. I forgot I had graphics. Okay, I came like I had some sense today, y'all. Where we at? Okay, so y'all, the episode picks up where it left off, and we see Stormy and Mel having a conversation. Stormy, y'all, this is the thing, okay? I hate not being able to fully pick one side when it comes to things. But it makes so much sense. Like, everything's not black and white. I kind of see where Stormy's coming from with this situation. But on the other side, I see where Mel is coming from too, but it's a whole lot missing in between. So let's go back to the beginning, y'all. Let's talk about this reunion, okay? So if you haven't watched the episode, Stormy is coming up to Mel, asking her why they haven't talked. I haven't talked to you for months. Now that the show has picked back up, you basically acting like nothing ever happened, right? And I definitely understand where Stormy's coming from. Stormy's saying, I know that you like to disconnect from everybody on the show, but I didn't know that you disconnected from me, because I guess Stormy thought she was different. Now, in this situation, y'all, in this scene, I wish that Mel would have came forward and simply said, I'm good on you because of XYZ. Or I don't fuck with you because of XYZ. Or maybe it's not even a beef. Maybe it's not even a I don't fuck with you. Maybe it's a I distance myself from the cast and you included because you made me feel this way. I feel like that's what it lacked. Because without that, it makes Mel look bad. It makes her look like what they like to say she's like, a user, how she likes to be in charge of the girls and she only cool with you until you disagree. Those types of things that they say about her. And I feel like that was the missing piece because like, I feel like if you don't fuck with Stormy because she started fucking with people who you don't like, I feel like you're justified in that, okay? Everybody can decide who it is that they're comfortable, you know, allowing proximity to, being friends with or not. We saw her and Destiny kind of fall out. And a lot of people are saying, oh, so Mel don't want to be friends with nobody who's friends with Martell. And I wouldn't say that's what it's given. I feel like she allowed that with Destiny. Destiny was her trial run to see what it was going to be like in terms of having mutual friends with Martell. She also has Kimmy and Maurice. I wouldn't even say Maurice is a friend, but she has Kimmy who's friends with Martell too. But the thing is, y'all, it's just very unnecessarily complex, if I have to put it that way. So let me break it down. Let's talk about Kimmy being friends with Martell. And this is going to circle all the way back around. So just buckle up your seatbelt and follow me, okay? Just follow. So a lot of the argument is Mel don't want to be friends with nobody who's friends with Martell. We got Kimmy who's friends with Martell. We got Destiny who was friends with Martell, right? Kimmy, I feel like if you've been watching the show, if you've been paying attention to things, I don't even know if Kimmy and Mel are actual friends. They're like filming friends. I feel like they do nice things for each other in real life, but as far as calling each other on the phone and saying, hey, you know, I'm worried about you, I can talk to you, as far as having a friend who you vent to, they don't have that. I think they respect each other and that's it. I think they respect each other. Now, I know somebody gonna say, well, Mel said they was friends on the reunion. It's not giving friends to me. It's not. So I think that's why Mel is okay with Kimmy having some form of relationship with Martell. Now, when it came to Destiny, Mel was her first or Destiny was Mel's first trial run with having somebody, you know, kind of be cool with both of them. I think because that relationship basically went down the drain, we saw how Destiny facilitated a lot of beef in between the two of them. Not to say that the beef wouldn't have happened without Destiny, but I do feel like Destiny facilitated a lot of it and ultimately ended up, you know, being excited about some of the drama that went down. I think through that relationship, Mel was like, nah, I can't fool with nobody who fools with Martell. Next, we get Stormy, okay? Stormy, and this is a part from the interview, Stormy supposedly had spent New Year's with Martell and Martell's new girlfriend. And I'm doing quotes because it's full of shit. We also saw Stormy at the reunion in so much agreement with Destiny. It was very weird. Like, if y'all watched the last season, I don't know about y'all, but anybody who want to fight me, anybody who plays me down to the ground after apologizing, I would not go out of my way the way that Stormy went out of her way to be cool with Destiny. To me, that's a character flaw. Not only that, we saw a bunch of videos before the filming of the reunion where Stormy was hanging out with all of the Scotts as well. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Stormy cannot be friends with those people. But what I am saying, though, is for me, if I were in Mel's position and I had been on a TV show with a bunch of cast members who I could not trust, I brought somebody on the show who I felt like would be my friend, who I felt like I could trust, who I probably gave background context to all the bullshit that had been going on. And I see you going out of your way to apologize buy Gucci gifts so y'all can say y'all are Gucci. Seeing them eat at dinner together, that would be wrong road for me. Because I feel like Mel had already allowed that with Destiny. And if you found out through Destiny that that was something that you were not comfortable with, then you know with Stormy that this relationship is not going to work. So you got to treat her like the rest of the cast. Now, while I see where Mel is coming from, I 100,000% believe that that should have been communicated. And Mel, and I think Stormy knows that. I think Stormy knows that Mel is uncomfortable with it, and Stormy just wants her to say that shit. So now, let's get into the context of the episode, okay? Because this show is just like, so much happens behind the scenes on this show that your opinion would be completely different watching the show on its own than it would be if you were not watching interviews, if you were not keeping up with what was going on social media. It's just a lot, okay? So yes, that's exactly what it was. Mel said, "Fool me once." Yes, I think that's where she was at with it. Now that should have been communicated, and I'm talking about that. So Stormy ends up saying that she didn't know that the disconnect applied to her. And in Mel's confessional, Mel says, I didn't expect that coming from Stormy. My real friends respect my boundaries. So I learned something. A boundary can't really be a boundary if it's not communicated. You can't all of a sudden just change the way you do things and expect someone to follow suit if that hadn't been communicated. And we saw the same thing happen with Destiny. Destiny felt like y'all communication was cut off. And then you and Destiny played this long ass game of semantics about whether y'all were in communication with each other, whether y'all were texting, whether y'all were calling. And I feel like this is deja vu. We've seen it all over again. Mel, you cut her off. I don't think it's a boundary if it hadn't been communicated. So for you to say that your real friends respect your boundaries and Stormy don't know your boundaries, and to me it seems like y'all are just building a friendship. Now on the other side of the thing, Stormy, I think Stormy is playing a little dumb. Okay, I think Stormy is playing a little dumb. Stormy was brought on the show by Mel. She knows Mel's relationships with these people, and she was damn near about to fight Destiny when it came to her and Mel because you wanted to know why they fell out. You knew. You knew something happened and you was damn near about to fight Destiny. So one of the things that I would be cautious of is, you ever notice how you have friends or people in your real life who will do shit that they know is wrong and will continue to do it as long as it goes unchecked in the name of ignorance. In the name of, oh, I didn't know. I wish you would have expressed that to me. Or, oh, I wasn't sure if this was going to bother you. Whole time you know. Whole time you know, right? And so I can't side with either one of these people. Honestly, I can't side with Mel all the way. I can't side with Stormy all the way. I just think that there's a lack of communication and something needs to be discussed so y'all know how y'all gonna move forward from here. Even in this conversation, I don't feel like either one of them were 100% clear. And just based on the fact that Mel was like, ain't no beef, we good. And Stormy continues to push, and Stormy says, well, let's sit down. Is it a trust thing? You knew that, Stormy. You know that Mel's relationships with these people on the show are fractured. You know that Mel don't fuck with these people because she can't trust them. When Mel start treating you like them other people, 9 times out of 10, it's a trust thing. So the fact that you asked that question, even though Mel wasn't willing to come forward and say what the beef was, lets me know that you already had some sort of educated guess as to what the issue was going to be. But you prioritized your ability to network with the other people on this show over knowing how your friend was gonna feel about it. Because that's usually how it always goes, y'all. And this is one of the things, this is why I want to start this podcast, y'all. Because there's so many things that can be discussed outside of this show, in real life. People prioritize what they want over sometimes knowing that they're doing somebody wrong in the process. And then when it's brought up, it's like, do we have a problem? And they want you to call out the problem, when at the end of the day, Mel in this situation is the person that's too tired or don't care enough about the relationship to explain. And at this point, she's like, I'm out. So that's basically what happened, right? So she ends up asking her, is it a trust thing? Then they start specifically talking about this rumored recording. Last season, Destiny was playing a recording of Mel saying that, you know, she don't feel a way about Martell dating nobody because he was dating other women when they was together. Mel tweeted that somebody must have been secretly recording her. Everybody on social media jumped and said that it was Stormy because production had showed Mel saying the same thing in a previous clip in the same episode. Now, Stormy's defense is that Mel has said the same thing in plenty of other interviews, which she has, right? Now, I don't know if Stormy would record her. I don't know if production planted that shit and gave it to Destiny, but I don't get the feeling that it was Stormy that recorded her. So anyway, Mel ends up saying that they're good and that it's really no beef, they're good. And she continues conversation because you can tell that she's here to do a job. So it's only gonna get worse for Mel and Stormy from here, if you ask me, just because this conversation did nothing. Mel didn't communicate her issue. Stormy played dumb, like she didn't know what the issue was. And I feel like both people end up, you know, not really doing the best that they could to get the relationship back to where it was. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't think Mel really gives a fuck about the relationship enough to try to have a conversation and say, I don't like how you did this. I don't like how you did that. And I completely get it, because you can't coach a grown person on how they should interact with other people on the show that they're on. So if I was Mel, I would look at this as a character flaw, and I would call it that, because I don't, in general, me, Necey Dixon, I don't fuck with nobody who fuck with everybody. I really don't. And I feel like if you go out of your way to apologize to people who did you wrong, you go out of your way to network because you want to get something that somebody has, that's a character flaw for me. And I don't have to explain to no grown ass person what it is that I don't like about them, or I do. So that was just a mess, okay? Now, anyway, the other thing that happens at this party is that Kimmy is talking to Martell. And Kimmy ends up talking to Martell about Mel. Y'all, can we let it go? Can we truly, like, let this go? This is the thing that was making me uncomfortable, because I feel like Martell is trolling in a very dangerous and a very scary way. And that's something else that I want to talk to y'all about. It seems like everybody else is finally getting to the point to where they're going to stop trying to play matchmaker. They're going to stop trying to play get back right with your wife to Martell and Mel. They've been done for a long ass time. The two can barely even stand in the same room together. So I'm kind of just like, Kimmy, I hope that you are not doing this for the sake of the show. I hope that you understand where Mel is coming from when Mel is telling people that she's uncomfortable with y'all doing that. Like, it's not healthy to egg this man on. I think that Mel is living in a reality that nobody else can see. And the people on the show are being deceived. The people who are not in their everyday lives are being deceived. So for you to egg this man on, to encourage him to do things to try to get his wife back when y'all don't know the details of things that went on in their marriage before the cheating scandal came out, it's just unhealthy. Don't do that. I think that if you truly support Mel and Martell at this point, y'all need to get on one accord and figure out how to get Martell back in a healthy position, including Mel too, because I know Mel is going through her own healing, but it seems like she doesn't have the same support that Martell has when it comes to this cast. So when it comes to the cast, instead of supporting Martell and like, oh, I bet you miss your wife, oh, you miss your family, just say that. Let it go. Y'all need to encourage this man to get into a new healthy chapter of his life so he can stop harassing his wife. It is so crazy to me how Mel has been pinned as the bad guy for leaving her husband. And it's not just, that's the other thing, y'all. I feel like a lot of these people are just looking at it like, oh, well, he cheated, take that man back. Oh, well, he had a baby, take that man back. But there's other things that are a result of that, or other things that happen at the same time. You have somebody who seems to be mentally abusive, because that's what he did this episode to me. And it's just not healthy. So I don't think that people are taking into account the entire thing. And yes, Tiffany and Lewis did the same thing. I'm going to call Tiffany and Lewis out as well. So the other thing that happened after Martell has the conversation with Kimmy, I guess this gave him the encouragement to go try to do something nice for Mel. He walks up to Mel when Mel says that she's leaving, and he's like, oh, I'm going to walk you to your car. And Mel's like, no, I'm good. My car is right in front of the building, or right down the street. It's fine. I'm good. He's like, no, I'm going to walk you to your car. I'm going to make sure you get here safe. I'm going to walk you to the car. I'm going to walk you to the car. She politely tells him, do not walk me to my car multiple times, and this man does it anyway. Not only that, because he knows he's trolling, he wants to get other people involved, manipulate their opinion of the situation, only to have them encourage him to continue to be on bullshit. So Mel is getting ready to leave. She says goodbye to Tiffany and Lewis. He walks over to Lewis and Tiffany and tries to put Mel on Front Street as if she's the bitter one because she don't want to get walked to her car. Y'all do not understand. We just came off a reunion where Mel said that her phone was tapped. We just came off a reunion where Mel said her phone was tapped. She thinks that this man was listening to her phone calls, y'all. He has been on social media saying that she's allegedly been dating people that she ain't been dating. Y'all don't understand? Like, you don't feel safe around this man. You've told people that you're uncomfortable around this man. Why would she want him walking him to her car? Mind y'all, they didn't talk about this in episode 1. Martell is doing all this gentleman behavior, all while trying to take her children from her. All while trying, like, this is so crazy, y'all. This is top tier, like, dangerous. This is trolling in a scary way. This is ridiculous. Hey, Bondi, you're not that late. We just got into Martell. But y'all, tell me why production didn't lead with this. So this is one of the things that irked me. I thought that we were going to get a full-long season of Mel looking as though she was the bitter woman and Martell trying to restructure his image, right? That's what I thought. Only for them to end this episode talking about the fact that they have legal proceedings going on. Why didn't y'all lead with that? So tell me how this works, y'all. This is the other thing that's extremely dangerous. You have somebody who wants to look like Mr. Good Guy in front of everybody. You have somebody who's pretending to treat you so nicely. Someone who's saying that they just want to co-parent with you, but all the while they're trying to take all of your kids from you. Like, do y'all know how crazy that is? And to me, I feel like that's his way of trying to force Mel to get into some codependency with him. I know they have to co-parent, y'all. But when I say codependency, I believe that Martell wants control of the situation again. He's narcissistic, in my opinion. We just interviewed Mel. She said that she believes he's a narcissist. She would know better than anybody. She was with him for 12 years or something like that. But that's really scary to me. And he's doing it in the most strategic way. He's making sure that she feels uncomfortable. And if he doesn't get back control of his situation, like he had control of the situation when he was going to the gym, cheating on her, and just wanting her to do whatever she wanted to do. And now that it seems as though she has the power and he has to beg her for things, he's lashing out. And another thing, y'all, last season, we saw him try a different strategy to get back good with Mel. And she almost let him have it, right? We saw him pretend to be nice. Mel invited him and his mother on a trip, fully paid for it. He didn't have to pay a dime. He shows up on the trip that's supposed to be for the kids. He apologized to Mel, and I think he thought that was his way back in because he doesn't want to co-parent with Mel. I don't think y'all understand that. And that's basically what he's showing us right now. He doesn't want to co-parent with Mel. He wants control of Mel. And because Mel decided to leave him, he wants to make her life a living hell. And that's exactly what's going on. By him taking her to court, you don't want your 4 kids full time. You ain't even got the 1 kid full time. And your baby mama ain't worth a quarter, a penny, a fucking dime of what Mel is worth. So why wouldn't you try to go get that child rather than taking all 4? Now, the other thing that I think is interesting is last season, we also saw his ass in an apartment when Destiny showed up and was like, oh, you still got all the same decor that you had in the house with Mel, with her messy ass. Now, this is the thing. As far as Texas, if you have part-time custody of your children, full-time custody of your children, you have to have a bedroom for each child. So that means if one spouse get the child for a week, one spouse get the other child for a week, you can't be in a 1-bedroom apartment and saying that the kid just gonna sleep on the couch. You have to have enough room as if you were gonna have these kids full-time. Martell, I don't think we've seen that. Martell, you still ain't got your builder's license. So he don't want to co-parent, y'all. This is all a game. This is all a game. And I wish that they would have led with that. And I really need everybody on this cast to respect the boundaries that Mel did communicate with them, which was that she did not feel good being around Martell and that she wants everybody to stop. That's one thing she did communicate. So I feel like as long as it's communicated, it should be understood. Okay, so let's move on to Martell and the Fletchers. So, yeah, okay. I was like, why is the graphic not loading? But okay. We move on to Martell and the Fletchers. He ends up crashing their date night. And they're asking him, how do you feel about single life? How's dating? And he says, you know, I really don't like it. You know, dating life, I don't really like it. He leads, letting you know there ain't nobody out here in these streets. He not really liking the single life. This, that, and the third. Meanwhile, in his confessional, he making a joke talking about he planning on proposing this year. Do y'all not see how unbalanced this man is? Now, in the same conversation with the Fletchers, they end up asking, so how's it going with Sheree? Is she the one? You introduced her to us. You would have thought the way that Martell started this conversation out by saying that dating was not for him, single life was not hidden for nothing, you would have thought that he was not in contact with Sheree at this point. Like, this lets us know that you hired the damn photographers in the park to record you and Sheree. This season, for me, I can tell y'all already, episode 2 is going to be weird. I think y'all are going to see Martell be big weird, for real. Because the fact that you are trying to take control back in a way so much that you would try to take full custody of her kids, of y'all's kids together, even though you don't have custody of one. The fact that you would hire photographers to get you and this Real Housewives lady and even bring her ass on the show because you know she desperate for a man. You know she had held that dude down in jail. He come out leaving her ass stranded and forgotten about. The fact that you knew she was that desperate and this is already 2 episodes in and we're getting all of this from you, it's giving scary. It's giving scary, and I want everybody to take note, right? Yes, Shay K. Notice he never said he and Sheree were together. He never did. He wasn't even going to bring up Sheree until they brought up Sheree. So I'm just like, bye. So, yeah, he just says time will tell if Sheree is the one. And then he brings up the conversation of him taking Mel to court because she has 20 something babysitters, which is what we keep hearing. Now, Martell feels like if he's in town and Mel has to do something, he should take priority in watching the kids over somebody else. And ideally, yes, it should be that way. But whenever you are dealing with somebody who is mentally abusive and somebody who does not respect your boundaries, I completely understand why Mel is not trying to communicate with you whenever she don't have to. So I think there's layers to this, and Martell is just saying all the things to try to get you revved up and on his side. Yes, you should be watching your kids, but if you were mentally abusing me, I would not be trying to contact you during my week. And when the kids are in show house for 7 days, if that involves me not calling my kids because I know that you're going to fuck with my mental health, that's just what it's going to be. That's just what it's going to be. And the stuff just sounds so wild to everybody else because Martell is not telling the full story. I'm just like, man, I cannot. And he does naturally, Martell loves the number 20. 20 women, 20 babysitters. That's exactly what it is. I'm like, I cannot. Exactly. This is the comment from Kendra. He just wants to know when she's going and coming. Exactly. He wants to know where she's going, who she going with, how long. And then even if he was the one to be watching the kids, y'all know he would still take this information to court and use it against her as though she wasn't fit to be a mom. That's what he would do. So I completely understand it. So next, y'all, we see Tisha and Courtney, but I'm gonna cycle back to that in a second, and we're gonna move on to Mel's conversation that she ends up having with Nell Fletcher. Now, we're gonna get into that right after y'all do me a favor and like the video. Okay, cool. So we're gonna end with Kiki and Tisha, but we're gonna talk about Nell and Mel. And I'm so glad that as a woman, Nell held Martell accountable. Nell had doubt in what Martell was saying. She didn't take what he said and just assume that Mel was a bad person. She knew that as a mom and as somebody who has gone through infidelity and almost getting a divorce from her husband and having kids as well, that, hold on, let me go talk to this lady and see what's really going on. So Nell starts out the conversation. Mel says that dating life has been cool. It's been good, right? Finally, they get into the custody piece. And she reports that Martell told her that Mel has a lot of babysitters. And Mel tells us exactly what I'm telling y'all now, which is that he's doing all of this on purpose. And she's saying that ideally, she would want to see her kids every day. And it shouldn't be like this. And that's not what she wanted. Now, this is the other thing that I feel so bad for Mel, and I'm like really shocked that she still continues to do this show. And if I'm being all the way honest with y'all, I think she's really just doing the show for her kids at this point and the income that she gets for her businesses. Because y'all, this show, if I was in her position, would do a fucking number on me. Like, you got fans that can't stand you. You got your ex-husband who's manipulating your castmates. You got castmates who don't support you. And damn near when you get to the reunion, you ask some crazy ass questions. Y'all, I could not do this if I was Mel. I could not do this if I was Mel at all. Because the people are forgetting that all of this is stemming from Martell ruining both of their lives. Now that Martell sees that Mel is able to continue on with her life and he no longer has the power, he's losing his mind and he's scraping through every bit to try to take back control of her. I'm not even going to say the situation because I don't think he gives a fuck about taking back control of his kids or anything like that. He wants to take control of Mel. So essentially, we're seeing Mel having to pay for all of the shit that Martell did, all because she won't forgive him. That is the craziest thing. So in order to keep your mind right, it would be really, really, really challenging to do when you have people who don't really support you and don't see things the way that you see them. So for her to just not even go back or not even pretend to be nice with him is wild, because she been through it at this point. It would be really hard to know if the sky was really blue if everybody was telling you that it was green. Like, damn, you know? So yeah, Mel has a moment and she's crying, basically saying that she never wanted it to be like that. So I really hate it for Mel and Martell. I hate it for Mel. But I feel like this is going to be something scary, and it's going to be something that we're going to see play out the whole season. It makes me actually really concerned for her. And what they should have done was play more recaps when these conversations were being had, at least recaps from the previous season or social media or something like that, just so we knew what was going on. Like, I think y'all needed to do a 1-2 recap when it came to her and Stormy, when all these situations could have potentially made her uncomfortable. I think y'all should have done a 1-2 recap with Martell in the custody situation. And ultimately, I think that she could have communicated to Stormy that she didn't fuck with her because of XYZ. One thing about me that y'all might not know is that I love telling people about themselves. So if somebody come to me playing dumb, talking about, oh, why aren't we going anymore? I just wanted to know. Or, oh, I didn't know you felt this way. I'm going to be like, yeah, because bop, now. That's why I don't fuck with you. I love doing that, okay? Because I really be wanting to get shit off my chest. It's not on me to keep it in me. I don't want to keep it in me. I'm going to let you have it since you want to play dumb and you think that I'm about to give you a fake-ass response in order to, you know, for both of us to be fake and keep it cute. Not at all. Not in my real life. I ain't got to keep nothing corporate or professional. So I wouldn't. Okay, so finally, y'all, let's get into... Who is it? Do I have the picture up here? Yeah, let's get into the Scotts, okay? We really didn't get too much of them from episode 1, and we really haven't even gotten a whole lot of... Ew, I hate that. He's recently sent her 120 roses. Yeah, I hate that. Anyway, we didn't get a whole lot of the Scotts in episode 1. We really didn't even get Marceau so far, and I'm good on it. So... what we see earlier in the episode is Tisha is meeting with her cousin Courtney, who's at the very top. Oh, girl is super cute. She had that nice curly hair. They all look similar. They got some strong genes. And yes, the other side of the tracks, the genes is going strong. I don't know what y'all drinking over there, but everybody look like everybody. And so anyway, Tisha and Courtney have a conversation. And y'all, this is a scheme that Carlos and Tisha set up in order to have her and Kiki get back together. They sit down and they make it seem like Tisha only wants to meet with Courtney because she wants to discuss with Courtney coming over to her brokerage and working for her in real estate. Courtney's like, I'll consider your offer. But I want you to go meet up with Kiki. If you go meet up with Kiki, fine, I'll work for you. And that's what they end up doing. This is the scheme that they set up. We really ain't heard shit about Tisha having people work for her in her brokerage. We haven't. So anyway, at the end of the episode, Kiki and Tisha, they go meet up at some like boxing place, like some sort of 9-round kickboxing. And this is like some little cute meetup for them to get out all their aggression. And they end up having a one-on-one. Now, y'all, when they showed them throwback pictures of Tisha and Kiki, I have to say, Tisha, girl, you look good. You're not aged, okay? You got that husband stressing you, and you still look like you about the same age that you looked in them pictures. Now, Kiki, on the other hand, Kiki, you're a beautiful woman, but you've been through some things, and it was apparent to me in the pictures because it ain't no way that you should have aged that much more than your cousin Tisha. Like, not when y'all got genes like that and y'all all look the exact same. So we know you've been through some things. So they start having a conversation, right? And y'all, this to me was the pot calling the kettle black. This sit down, I was like, I kind of understand where she coming from. I kind of understand where she coming from. They both full of shit. That's pretty much where I ended it. So Tisha ends up saying that because they used to be so close and that's her cousin, her heart is telling her you know, to get back right with your cousin, love her, like y'all be back cool, but her mind is telling her don't be a fool. And it's just so funny to me that her mind works that way, that her mind works in a don't be a fool type of way. But anyway, anyway, that's why they're not cool. And Tisha was like, you can't say things in a way that's up for people to interpret. She says this in another set of words or whatever, but I'm just paraphrasing. Basically, Kiki's like, I think that you and Marcel try to make it like the things I said was worse than what I actually said. Y'all try to make it seem like it was worse. And for me, I was like, lack of accountability. Because you can say a whole lot and not say nothing at all. And y'all want to know who would know that best? Tisha would know that best, because you came on the show and you was talking about your cousin having some big secret, and you said a lot without saying nothing at all. Y'all had people on social media guessing if Kiki had bed bugs. Y'all had people on social media guessing if she was truly an addict. It was so many things because you didn't clarify what the issue was with Kiki. When I think the real issue at the end of the day is this. I think it's exactly what your cousin said. I think that Kiki is starting to live with her life choices. I think that Kiki is jealous. Kiki believes that she should have been getting all the limelight that Tisha is getting right now through this show. Kiki is also having to deal with, you know, her life post-addiction. So both of y'all are wrong. Both of y'all, neither one of y'all are taking accountability. And y'all are both talking out of both sides of y'all neck. So it was really hard for me to sit here and agree with either one of y'all, because yes, Kiki is jealous, but yes, Tisha also wants to be that girl in the family. Tisha don't want Kiki to come on this show, and Kiki was so desperate to come on the show that by any means necessary, she was going to try to halfway expose her cousin. So in order for you to prevent her from getting on the show and getting any type of following, any, you know, type of likability, you led with some open-ended sentence about Kiki going through something and that the Holts didn't want to deal with her. Y'all are doing the same damn thing. Okay? Tisha wants to be that girl, and I think that's why she don't like Mel, honestly. And Kiki also wants to be that girl, and she'll do that by any means necessary, which means being cool with Mel and maybe halfway telling the truth or not. So anyway, Kiki's like, you know, I really feel the same way about you. And Tisha says, well, how would you feel if I spoke on your marriage? So I'm kind of just like, okay, listen. I ain't got another 20 episodes to listen to you and Kiki halfway tell each other's business, halfway decide to speak on each other's marriages, because both of y'all want to be on TV. Y'all are both trying to prevent each other from, you know, rising, in my opinion. I feel like both of y'all are trying to prevent each other from rising on this show. And I just don't have another 20 episodes to play with y'all, because y'all really not going to be sharing nothing about each other. So Tisha, by you saying, how would you feel if I talked about your marriage? Let's just take that off the table right now. Either y'all gonna get back cool or y'all not gonna get back cool. Y'all not gonna keep handing out these dry ass threats, and then when we get to the reunion, y'all like, oh, yeah, that's all I had to say. Girl, I don't know about y'all, but I ain't got another season for it. So they pretty much just leave the episode to be continued, because one thing that I am gonna tell y'all is that I don't really give a fuck about Kiki's marriage. I don't. Kiki has not been a main cast member on this show. Kiki was brought on this show as a catalyst to take Tisha down, honestly. She was brought on this show to expose the things that we didn't know. And if that's not what you're going to bring to this show, Kiki, I'm good. I'm not interested in your marriage. I'm not interested in any business you got to put out. No hairline, no candle line, no face care line. I'm good, Kiki. If you're not on this show to do what you was hired to do, which was to expose the shit that we didn't know that Tisha and Marcel like to dance around, I ain't got time for it. But that was pretty much it, y'all. The episode was left to be continued. I think that this season has been like a slow burn. I am still very nervous about the relationship that we see between Martell and Mel. Can't stand Martell mama, to be honest with y'all. She will continue to enable him. And she's also a hater as well. I can't stand no old lady that want another woman to get out the mud just because y'all had to. And I think that this is a lot of the issue with the people that we see on the show. It's a power struggle, and it's a very much, I had to get it like this, so you should get it like this. Or, I'm the main person on the show. I don't want you to be the main person on the show, so I'm going to share your business. I hate it. I really do. But I'm excited that the show is back. I can say that. I think that it's going to make some real good conversation. And I really need to, when I get the time, to get on this, because I feel like on this podcast idea that I have, I really want to talk about some real life situations that are just sparked through the conversation topics, and we can talk about things deeper and in people's personal lives, and I can bring people on, and we can have good conversations like that, because the stuff that we see in reality TV is like a direct reflection of what be going on in real life. And that's why, you know, people feel so compelled to share their opinion on what's been going on. And that's why sometimes I can break the shit down, because I'll be like, you know what? Whatchamacallit did this to me. Let's talk about it. So that's pretty much it, y'all, for this episode. Real Housewives of Atlanta is coming back next month. But other than that, y'all, I'll see y'all on Ladies First Panel on Thursday. And then I will see y'all next week for another Sunday brunch where we can talk about love and marriage in Huntsville, okay? So like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.